After this little break, here is a little provocative question. Tell me, Luc, is it then legitimate to wonder if Ahmed Baba was an authentic philosopher, or rather like a simple commentator of the Holy Scriptures, or maybe just a specialist of Muslim law?
On est revenu sur le fait qu'il ne fut certes pas philosophe de formation, mais sa production théorique fut largement...
As I said a moment ago, Baba was certainly not a philosopher by training, but his theoretical output is steeped in moral and theological philosophy. He is not a simple commentator, because to interpret a text in a methodical way is already to do hermeneutics or exegesis. With good reason, Baba can thus be classified among the founders of African Islamic philosophy. His theoretical contribution was significant not only in the elaboration of a historical awareness specific to Timbuktu, of a jurisprudence, and more broadly, of an Islamic science informed by Sudanese sociological and political realities, in the sense that historians give to Sudan at that time, but also in teaching and building an epistemology of knowledge.
In his treatise on slavery, Ahmed Baba emphasizes the equality of all Muslim believers before God, whatever their origin and color of the skin. However, he does not condemn the practice of slavery as such. According to him, it remains legitimate for non-Muslims to practice slavery. So my question is, was Ahmed Baba pro-slavery?
Alors je dirais d'emblée non, parce que sa réponse et sa réflexion...
No, not at all. His answer and his thinking were more nuanced. I would like to give a little background and say exactly what it is about. A few years after his liberation and his return to Timbuktu, Baba wrote in 1615 his best-known legal treatise, the Miraj al-Su'ud il-Nile Hukm Majlub al-Sud, legal conditions for the possession of certain categories of black slaves, which I would like to focus on because it is one of the author's 32 manuscripts still available today. The starting point of the Miraj is a set of questions addressed to Baba by scholars from the Oasis of the Tuat, present-day Algeria, on the legal character or not of reducing to slavery Muslim individuals captured during the jihad in certain regions of the Sudan at that time, Borno, Kano, Gao, Katsina, etc. Taken all together, these questions can be reduced to a central double question. First, are we, according to the principles of the Quran, the life of the Prophet, allowed to own Muslim slaves? Next, what is the main legal basis for slavery? For the Tuatians, the artisan of a captured individual gives the one who captures or buys him a right of possession. Infidelity, from this point of view, is the basis of slavery. In his deliberations, Baba admits, according to the spirit of the times, that the source of slavery is a lack of faith in God. However, for Baba, a Sudanese slave whose religious condition is known must be released without question. In his view, this means that an unbeliever, whether black or white, and regardless of geographic origin, can be enslaved under a number of consistent conditions with Islamic law. Baba contests the interpretation common from this time among the Arab authors, which makes black descendants of Cham cursed by Noah. For him, the curse of one Cham cannot be applied to all his descendants and cannot justify the sale and purchase of black individuals without prior investigation of their religious status. Finally, Baba reminds his interlocutors that the possession of a slave gives his master rights, but also duties, especially those of taking care of him like a brother. Certainly, by our standards today, one might wonder why Baba only partially condemns slavery. But that would be making an anachronistic judgment on a time when the practice of slavery was considered justified by the Quran. Despite the moral limits that an interpreter of our time might detect, one cannot help but be struck by the vigor of demonstration and the courage of Baba, for whom the slave trade represented one of the worst calamities of his time.
So Luc, in light of all what you said before, why does Africa speak so little about Ahmed Baba? There is of course the Institute of Higher Islamic Studies and Research in Timbuktu, which has his name, and also a crater on planet Mercury. He is also a national figure in the Mali of today. However, he's not taught to African students. So how do you explain that?
Alors justement, Ahmed Baba n'est pas connu du grand public. En fait, il est connu d'un nombre très restreint de
Indeed,
personnes.
Ahmed Baba is not known to the general public. In reality, only a small number of people, basically researchers, know of his existence. Most of them are researchers interested in the scholarly works of the so-called medieval African era that we were talking about earlier, in particular Timbuktu. But in general, this ignorance of Baba is the reflection of a greater ignorance of African intellectual history. I mean, about African history as a whole. Regardless of the time, this story remains largely unknown, hardly ever being taught.
Listen, Luc, would you like to honor the local cuisine? The local Timbuktu cuisine? According to the cookbook of medieval Timbuktu, written by Niabe Aidara, we find there the probably original version of millet porridge. So should we try it? So should we try tasting?